remember the second trade that we took, but 2 out of 3 trades panned out very good and gave a good amount of profit. So the gold came through. I'm just trying to run through my history on my phone right now. And which other trade? USD CHF. Okay, we got USD CHF as well. Where is that? In this thing is a hassle for me to always find. There we go. USD CHF as well was on that. So USD CHF, what did we do last week? We bought last week actually, and if I can remember, because this is my small demo account which I was playing with 0.01. This must have been my EA, and I think we must have bought from somewhere around this area last week. I don't know exactly when we bought, but checking on my phone, yeah, it was a successful trade. So we had 2 trades successful, and then we had this massive drop. So that being said, what's it called? Pounds, GBP. Britain is out of European Union. Does anybody know how that's going to affect the market in terms of pounds? Because right now we can see like there's already a spike up already. Does anyone have a clue?
No idea.
No.
I don't know anything.
To be quite frank,
Personally, I thought that GPUC was gonna fall.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking, but quite personally, right now I'm confused. I pretty am confused what's gonna happen, because the first thing is they're still, they have to negotiate all the terms and make sure everything is in line and everything is in order. How goods and services are gonna be moving, between the countries, and I don't know what Scotland is saying, because Scotland didn't want to go, so. Maybe they might break away. If they break away, then that's bye-bye pounds. We see that falling down. But if they stay, we might see pounds go up. So it's kind of like, I'm not really sure how this is going to play out. I have to be totally frank with you. I have absolutely zero clue how it's going to play out. Same way, I don't have any clue of how the virus is affecting the market right now. I know one thing, though. The Chinese currency is dropping. So that one I can tell. But apart from that, I have absolutely no clue of how the Brexit is going to affect the market, or how the virus is going to affect the market in the long run. So it's just something that I'm just staying and looking at, because throughout history, right, I don't think we've seen any major effect based on the history data that I have. I haven't seen any major effect of viruses or new plagues affecting the market that much. As a whole, it does affect it, but does a little fluctuation, but nothing too massive. So in that case, that leaves me to just following the strategy that we normally have. So, Scotland, did you do any analysis this week?
I did. It was all just USD JPY, or just USD, and then you did CHF and CAD.
Okay, you did CAD and then USD. Okay.
And NZD as well, from the 4th to the 7th.
Okay, NZD as well. Okay, which is perfect. I was speaking to Joshua as well. Joshua was saying gold, but I don't want to trade gold anymore, because after checking, after checking the seasonal for gold, it doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like something I want to trade anymore. It's not aligning anymore. I mean, USD, I was just checking USD just right now before I started the webinar, and what I noticed was USD is going to start going up from the 4th. So 2 days from now, maybe even on the 3rd. No, on the 4th, actually. We'll start going up, and then we should see it go tank all the way till March. So that's going to be a long run. So ideally, this might happen to the pounds. The pounds might just get all the way down, probably to around this zone right here, about 900 pips. I don't know. It's just speculation. I have absolutely zero clue. But we're going to actually validate that and verify that, and see how it plays in the long run. USD on CHF angle, we might see this going back up. Let me see, which other USD do we have here? USD JPY, we might see this going all the way up. So it's just that there's a mixture of everything, that's going to happen. So right now, I have no clue. I'm gonna still analyze that. But what I've checked so far is I checked euro. So these are the two euros I've checked. I see a fall in the euro, coming. So, and has anybody actually looked at what happened in the euro last week? No. Okay.
I
Nothing.
did a bit. I didn't like. I don't know.
So basically, euro went up. So no, actually, yeah, I think euro went up. So what happened was there was a kind of, wait, let me actually check. Let me revalidate this. I was checking this just earlier, just a moment ago. Yeah, euro went up.
Yeah,
Euro went all the
there
way
was
up.
some news about euro.
Yeah, and he's just done this massive big move. So there should be correction coming. So I want to capitalize on the correction, right? So I mean, it started going up from the 24th, and if I check the seasonal, let's see. So 23rd between the 15 years and the 5 years, 23rd was the update. So we couldn't have taken this trade anyway. And then 29th, we should see that up move from the 29th up to 5th or 3rd, which is tomorrow. So 29th to 3rd, okay? And what we saw on the 29th was this. If we entered and followed the season on the 29th and exited when market closed, we will have actually seen 292 pips. So I wasn't watching this. So we missed this move. This chunk of the move was missed. So now what I want to capitalize on is this. I want to capitalize on the fall instead, which is happening right here on the 3rd. Or because the 5 years isn't fully aligned with it, so or it's going to happen on the 5th. So but I'm thinking from tomorrow we should see a dip in the euro because euro has actually done a very massive rally already. So I'm looking for it to, fall back down, recorrect, and then take that profit and then get out of the trade basically. Okay. And I'm just going to quickly go over and check the COT. Yeah, I'm going to check the COT. I'll load that probability by the side as well. And from the COT of the euro, right? If you haven't checked that, what we see is there's still a long buyers. And this is just recently, this on the 28th. So they're still buying more into the euro. So, in that sense, I wouldn't ideally, I wouldn't want to trade the euro. But I wouldn't want to sell the euro in terms of selling. But keep this in mind, right? When I checked the AUD probability, I found something very interesting. So you see the euro has a bias of a buy, and then the AUD have a bias of a buy. So in this tab, for example, now if we have the euro AUD, and the euro is meant to lose strength, will you still go for the euro AUD trade? Does anyone know?
Nope.
Can you rephrase it again?
So basically, now we know the euro is meant to fall based on the seasonal, right? Now we check the COT report, and we noticed that on the COT, we have a bias of a buy, okay? So now the correlation between the seasonal and the COT is different because the seasonal is saying sell, the COT is saying buy. Now, if you look at the second asset, the pair of it, which is euro AUD, for example, and you check the AUD and the AUD says buy, what would you do? Would you still sell the euro AUD or would you just let it go?
I'd let it go personally.
Personally, that's very correct. Letting it go is very wise. But I want to get slightly, I want to play a little bit. So I want
Does
to.
it depend on the amount of commercials, like number of commercials? If AUD commercials are more than euro commercials, then there's a possibility that it's going to go down.
Not necessarily. I mean, not necessarily. Sometimes the commercials. I mean, if you check the, let me show you something. If you check the USD commercials, right, you hardly see anybody in here. Look. Well, even though you still have the buyers of the sell, you understand, I will still take the sell buyers. Yeah. You understand? It doesn't matter. Most of the time, it doesn't matter. There might be 2,000 people right here, right? And then each 2,000 people is trading $1 billion each. You
Well,
understand?
that will be another story then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there might be, you see, there might be 311,000 right here. And each 311,000 is trading 1,000 each.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
understand? So it's more about the volume, how big they're buying or they're selling. It doesn't really matter how many, commercials are in there or how many contracts they have in there. It's about the volume of the contract itself. You understand? So that's why. So in this case, for example, I will still want to take this trade. The main reason I want to take this trade is it's gone to a medium risk trade. Now the William is already pointing down already. So the William is already shouting, "Sell me" already. I can see that going down. So what I would do in this case is, I mean, you guys already know what's next, right? Which is the probability, right?
Yep.
Probability. We check the Euro AUD probability and try to find what we should do with this asset. Okay, so since today, the third is the first trading day of the month, second, third. So let's check the trading day. So the first trading day of the month, we have a 50% probability of sell. So 50-50. So I wouldn't really want to trade on this day. But the second day, I have 64%, 57%. But then I don't have the 3 days I need in a row. Now, this is me breaking my rules, right? This is me breaking my rules. The main reason I want to sell this asset is because it's done a massive move. Now, this move hasn't occurred in a very, very long time. I mean, since as far back as, if I'm not mistaken, as far back as 2019 August. Okay, so I'm expecting a correction. But before the correction happens, I want to see maybe the asset goes up a little bit, maybe around here, doing like double top or something, and then boom, sell off. Now, if we get this right, we just need 2 days, right? If we get this right, we could capitalize on 2 days about 140 pips, or maybe even about 200 pips. Okay, 200
Okay.
pips. 200 pips to me seems fair enough for a small analysis, right? Now, I checked something else now, because I noticed some of the members might still get they're slightly confused in terms of analysis. So I'm gonna break it down. There's certain times that you're exempt from the rules, okay? But in most cases, you're not exempt from the rules. Now, I want to check the Euro NZD, right? Let me load up the COT for the NZD. Now, ideally, I want to see a buy buyers in the NZD. Right now, there's no buy buyers. So I don't know if I should buy or sell based on COT. So I'm going to scrap that. But based on the probability, right, I see on the first trading day, second trading day, third trading day, I have 65, 65, 60%. You understand? It gives me that 3 days in a row. Okay. So what I tend to do is I still want to check if my William is giving me a sell. You can see the William is giving a sell, right? So the Euro AUD looks like a sell, and also the Euro NZD looks like a sell. But the Euro AUD is a higher risk trade. The Euro NZD is a higher risk trade, and the Euro AUD is a medium risk trade, right? But we have both for the sell. Now, if I play my cards right on those two, I should be able to accumulate 400 pips, 200 from each side. Okay. So this now boils down to the fact that we have to do technical analysis to ensure that we're on the right track. So where would we enter from? We know this is going to fall, right? And Euro NZD, we know we might actually need to sell from tomorrow, right? And Euro AUD, we might need to sell from Tuesday. Okay. So if we know the date that we're meant to sell, all we need is a price zone to sell from. Okay. I hope I haven't lost anyone here. It's kind of it's slightly different from the way I normally go about it. The way I go about it is more logical. I just go straight to the point and do it. That now I just want to be a little bit of mixed. Okay, not slightly straight to the point, just in case. Now,
what happened?
Huh?
No. What?
Oh, okay. So, in this case, right? I don't know if you guys have seen this, the BK supply and demand. It's just a tool. I just looked at it right now and I just say, okay, let me pull it up. Have you guys seen this before?
Not from you.
I have never posted this before, no?
No, they haven't.
I think it's in the member zone.
Yeah.
Mukhtar, have you seen it before?
Yeah. I've seen it before.
Oh, okay. Cotland, you've seen this before, right?
I use it all the time.
Okay. Fair enough. I had to use it. I used to use it when I trade binary, but I had to use it. Now, this is something, right? This gives you a zone to sell from. Now, we know we went to sell this on Monday, right? And right now, when you're looking at the daily chart, you do not see a zone to sell from. So I just switched to the 4-hour time frame, and it's giving me to sell. There's a verified resistance around this zone. So between this 30, 39 pips zone, 41 pips zone, or maybe 42 pips in this case, 43 pips, zone, there is a sell. There's a sell bias right here. I could sell from this zone, or I can sell from here. Okay, well, because I'm selling on Monday, I'm looking to sell from this zone. Now, naturally, what you see me do on the webinar is I draw it out. I probably look on the daily chart, and I look at maybe around here, and I highlight the, say, blue zone right here. You understand? I don't need to do that because the supply and demand already does that for me. I mean, this will be like being what I will have analyzed manually. Well, looking at the supply and demand, look, it's actually mine is slightly above it. So sometimes it might get into my zone, sometimes it might not. Sometimes it might be accurate, the indicator might be accurate, but for guys that are trading, with just the indicators, I would recommend using this indicator in this instance and using it to find your ideal sell zone on Monday. Okay. Now the next tool which I would use, and which I think a lot of you are already familiar with, is this. I love this stuff. This guy is very good. This is very, very good. It's this, right? Now, loading this up, and I look at the 4-hour. Look at what it shows me on the 4-hour. Do you see? Right here is the sweet spot. Do you understand? Or shall I go back again? It's pretty straightforward, guys, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I already know I want to sell on Monday, right? Looking at this, I have no clue where to sell from. Now, be careful. Price might get here. Price is funny like that. It could come and raid everybody out and get hit because he knows, right, that people are waiting for the sell already. And there's some people buying right now, and I mean they're not wrong to buy. Trust me, nobody's wrong in the market. There's nobody that's wrong. It's just the difference between information. Some people have better quality of information than others. Now, price could get here just to raid people, but I'm not seeing the likelihood of price getting here right now. Understand? So I'm gonna stick with the supply and demand, and then the support and resistance. Now, this cuts out all the stress for me. I already now need to sell on Monday. It's giving me a zone. It's giving me where to sell from. And what do I do when price gets here? I sell from here. I set my stop loss right here, just behind the red line. So my stop loss would be about 13 pips, right? Even without using the ATR. But if you want to use the ATR, please feel free. We can use the ATR in this instance, which is 2 times ATR. So you have 47 pips right here. And if you times that by 2, that should give you about 94 pips stop loss. So you can decide to enter from here and from here and set a 94 pip stop loss. So somewhere around here if you want. Or if you want to be a very smart person and, don't want to risk too much, instead you could enter around there where the indicator is listed and put a 13 pip stop loss right here. So you're only risking about maybe 13 pips maximum. So around here, 13 pips, right? And if everything goes south, just wait and sell again here and put another stop loss just behind it at 17 pips. Now, 13 plus 17 will give you 30 pips stop loss in total, but it's better than having a 90 something pips or having a 80 something pip stop loss, 84 pip stop loss, right? I mean, if you lose 13 pips right here, and if you enter right here and price never gets to your stop loss, by the time price is back here, you're already back in profit. You understand? And then you can just rip the entire profit all the way down to somewhere around here. You understand? Or somewhere around here. Okay. So this on its own has given me where I should enter from, what exact price I should enter from, and what day I should enter from. See, look, price has gone all the way from here, all the way here. It's a no-brainer. Price is gonna correct. Okay, it just makes sense. Price is always gonna correct. Don't jump on the board right here and start buying right here. No. If you can't find a good entry and if you don't have a good reason, maybe a fundamental reason to go in at the top right here, don't do it. You understand? Now we do the same thing for the Euro AUD, right?
Yeah.
We go on the Euro AUD. Now we look at the daily chart. Look, see what happened right here. See this line right here? I mean, I just switched the time frame, and guess what? Price stopped exactly right there. So this is already a resistance. Now we know on Tuesday is where we want to sell from. Right? We want to sell on Tuesday. We don't want to be hasty and sell on on Monday. The probability already told us Tuesday. So what I'll do is right here, price might start pulling back down. I mean, that could happen on Monday, tomorrow. So, but I would ideally just wait to Tuesday and sell. Now, if I go on a 4-hour time frame, for example, I would my sincere apologies for that. If I go on a 4-hour time frame, it's telling me right here there's an untested resistance right here around this box right here, and there's another untested resistance right here. But here is a sweet spot. Now it's giving me a 200 pips wide sweet spot. I'm not gonna wait 200 pips because I know price might fall on that day, and I think if I'm not mistaken, that same 200 pips is just around here, around the double top right here. So it's telling me to enter, but I'm not really sure price is gonna do 200 pips to the upside before it starts pulling back down. So in this scenario, does anyone have a clue what we're gonna do?
Wait.
Yes, you wait. Does anybody have another clue what we're gonna do? We don't know. We don't know where our entry is meant to be. How do we find the entry? Does anyone know?
Entry for the short.
If price is going to break the resistance.
Yeah, we can wait for price to break the resistance. Yes, that's also correct. I mean, you guys are both correct. You can wait. You can wait for price to break the resistance. But keep in mind, we need an exact spot to go in, to know where we want to go in.
You can
Yeah,
use the
we can also wait for the retracement.
What I tend to do is this, right? I would go on a lower time frame, like a 1 hour, and I would start marking out where I see the resistance at. Right? Because it's always different. Don't keep in mind on the 4 hour is different from the 1 hour, right?
Okay.
Now, what I do is I mark those 3 spots right there, right? And when I come back to the 4 hour chart, look at where my first resistance at.
Yeah.
See right here. If I go on the daily chart, for example, you can see it right here. This is the one that the PZ drew for me, which is where it's already stopped at. This is the second one, which was on the 1 hour time frame, and this is the third one. Now, ideally, where do you think you're going to go into the market? Here, 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 or here? So let me say this is 1. The first one at the top is 1. Okay, let me just label that out. 1. Let me put that as 1, right? I'll put this right here as 2. Okay. Then I put the third one right here at 3. Let me just move that up a little bit more. Move that into the zone right here and move this up a little bit. And the last one is 4. So where ideally would you want to go into the market from? What I'm doing right now, guys, I'm trying to take out the anxiety of, oh, where should I enter from and where should my stop loss be? Okay, so please work with me. Where ideally would you want to go into the market on Tuesday?
Number 1.
1, that's a very perfect one. You need a patience. You need the patience of a god to actually wait that long. Honestly, you actually need the patience of a god to wait that long. Anyone has
Actually, it really depends on the move or how fast market moves.
That's
also
correct.
There might be news, so we don't know how far it might go.
Exactly. On Monday, if price tends to just bull it all up and break all of this, I would wait for the number 1, which is correct.
Number 1.
Yeah. Anyone has another clue?
Nah, I had the same in mind that if it breaks 4, 3, 2, then we're gonna wait for 1, and once it comes back down, then we're gonna short it.
Okay, perfect. Now, is there anyone else that have any other clue? Okay. Yeah. I'm waiting. Come on, throw it at me, man. Nobody's wrong. Basically, let me give you the clue. No one is wrong.
Wait, hold. I just got back. Can you repeat?
Yeah, basically, where would you go into the market on Tuesday? So you know you meant to sell this asset on Tuesday, right? And this is Sunday. So Monday, if price open, where ideally do you think your Tuesday entry should be?
Hopefully gets on the wick for number 2, and then if not, we'll just go on 3.
Okay. That's actually very good as well. Anyone else got any clue? No? Okay. Right. Number one, you need a patient of a God. We already addressed that, right? If worst case scenario, right? Ideally, number one would be where I want to wait for. Ideally, in an ideal situation, it's in the red zone, and there is a PZ line on there on the 4 hours, and it's also there on the on the 1 hour. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's also there on the daily. Yes, it's also there on the daily. Okay, so it's giving me the strongest point to wait. Now, because I know based on seasonal, it's telling me like Tuesday. Seasonal is actually telling me Wednesday, but probability is telling me on Tuesday is the best time to sell. So I'm choosing Tuesday based on probability. I want to get in somewhere at the wick of the candle. Okay, now the only other zone that falls into that red zone is zone 2, right? I can anticipate price actually getting to zone 2 and selling off from 2. That would be my ideal entry. Number 2 would be where I want to wait for to sell from. Okay, and my stop loss is probably going to be just somewhere slightly above it, about 10 pips above number 2 should be sufficient enough for me. I don't know where 10 pips is, but 10 pips somewhere around here should be sufficient. Now, if price breaks above 10 pips, I will just wait till number 1. But one thing I would never do is going on number 4. Don't even dare going on number 4. I mean, what's the point? What you have to analyze is this, right? Ideally, price always does a wick. See this length of that wick. Now, this didn't do much wick. This didn't do that much wick. This did a wick. This did a wick. This did a wick. I don't want to be caught out. I've been caught out so much times that I think price will do something like this. A very tiny wick or no wick at all. A very, very tiny wick or almost no wick at all right here. You know what I'm saying? And guess what price does? Then that moment it decides to do a big ass wick. And then I start losing money. And then I start getting anxious. I would be patient. Now, market could open with a gap to the downside. Even if it does open with a gap to the downside, wait. If it does open to the gap to this downside around here, wait on Monday, price will retest number 4. Then number 4 might be your entry. But if price doesn't do a gap to the downside and price opens somewhere around here, you understand? I would wait for number 2. Price is most likely going to get to number 2, and then you can short it from number 2 and probably take your profit at this red zone right here. So, which is about 247 pips. Okay, put a stop loss of 10 pips and take 247 pips. Now, even if you have a stop loss of 10 pips and you get rated on that 10 pips and price ended up getting here, it's even sweeter. Wait and take your first profit at zone number 4, which is 185 pips. So if you're risking 10 pips to collect 185, it's a no-brainer. That's 1 to 18. Okay, that odds is very ridiculous. So it's either that or you get a odds of 1 to 34 or 35, almost 35. Understand? Which is very beautiful in this game. Okay, so there's no rush, guys. This method right here is one of the sweetest methods to go. And I just literally pulled it out because it's been a while I've analyzed the market like this. So there's so many different ways to analyze on the technical aspect, but I figured this is a good method to use on the technical aspect. Mix your supply and demand with your PZ, take that to do your trade, and you don't need to do much. Okay? Yeah. That should work perfectly fine. Is there any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, if you don't have the seasonal, how can you and just like find out the trade that it's
man, you gotta go back to the old school technicals, man. Trend lines.
Only technical?
Yeah, I mean, I started off with only technicals, right? And I was very accurate when I started off. I mean, I could get in with almost 0 pips pullback. I've done that a few times, but then I wasn't wise enough to control my trade. I get emotional, then I compound, and then I lose. Now,
yeah,
there's a tree. Yeah, I'll teach you something called a 3-trick rule. Now, let me delete all this. Let me make this back a plain chart. Oh man, I've already analyzed this though. This is very sweet. I don't want to lose this. All right, let me go back and just create a new chart. Your AUD. Let me just create some plain chart. So let me go back to Euro AUD. Just I don't want to delete that. I've already done it, so I might use that in the trade. So now this is what I noticed, and that was when I was trading binary. Now price always goes to the top, the tip. This is how I do it. Tip, tip. It does like a three touch on a trend line, right?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, exactly.
So look, price touch once and touch once you've done this, once you've done this, once you've seen these two tips, right? You know that most likely price is gonna get here, right? Now,
Definitely.
as price goes along, this is what I do. I analyze where the resistance zone is. So once I've done this too, I start analyzing.
That's a descending triangle, right?
Yes. So what I do is after I've done this triangle, this going down, right? I start picking out my resistance there. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. And because price has done all of that, so I would just wait and resistance right around here. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll wait, right? This is how I trade in the past. I will wait and wait and wait. Once I've seen 1, 2, I wait and till price comes back here. Now when price comes back here, right? Because I already have this resistance right here, okay? I would not enter the price when price touched the trend line. I will wait here. I will enter from here. Okay.
Okay.
Now there's two ways. I don't know who I was speaking to this on. I was like, you can choose two ways. I think this was Mr. Love a while back. You can either enter from the tip or you can enter from the body of the candle as a resistance level. Whichever you choose works fine. I like the tip. I like choosing the tip of the resistance or the support right here. You know, some people choose the body, whichever you find that works best. Now, in this situation, ideally for me, I would have chosen the tip. And when I choose the tip, right, price would have pulled back against me at least 35 pips before it start coming back into profit. But if I had chosen the body right here, price would have only pulled back against me 5 pips or maybe 6 or maybe 7. Okay.
You could have missed the trade then.
Yeah, but you could also miss the trade. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, where do I balance it out? I mean, just using this alone, using this just by itself would make you money in the market. This has made me a lot of money just by doing that. I don't need to do much. All I just look at is tip, 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 find the resistance, boom, 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 and go with it.
Yeah, when I was practicing, I did that on demo and it really worked well. So
it does work well. Or you can just use this. You know, pull this back out.
That's gonna automate it.
Yeah, that's automated already. So, you know, pull it back out and look, it gave me right here, and this wouldn't have formed. So I wouldn't have actually have a zone right here. But if I check maybe on a 4-hour time frame, let me go back 4-hour time frame. There was a zone right here. So let me highlight here, for example. Right here would have been a zone. It has drawn it a while ago. It drew it a while ago. It didn't just draw it now. So probably sometime way back, somewhere around here. Yeah, it started here. You can see that it drew it a long time ago, right here. So I'll just put that there, and let me go back to the daily. And when I check that on the daily, guess what? So if I drawn that line, first tip, second tip, right here. By the third tip, I wouldn't have gone in here. I would have waited, and guess what? I would have got a spot on entry instead. You get it?
Yeah.
You can use that.
I got it.
That's another way to trade it. You understand? And we can do the same thing for the uptrend when it's happening right here. So we go here and okay, that's a while. That's a very long time to come. So, you know what I'm saying? But just find a good asset. So right here, for example, if you
we can wait for it to come back to the line, right?
Exactly. Just wait for it to come back somewhere around here or somewhere around here. Boom, boom. Get it?
Yeah.
That's another way to trade. It's very simple. I mean, trading should not be something that's very stressful. Make it very simple. The one thing that kills a lot of accounts in trading is money management. Having zero money management kills your account. Even if you have the best strategy, if you have a win trade that is 90%, even 95%, even a 99% win rate, right? If your money management is crap, that 1%, if the market gets you on that 1% and your money management is crap, you lose it all. That one I
been there, done that.
Exactly. That one I can assure you that's what's going to happen. Okay. So
that's true.
Yeah. So try to keep your trades as simple as possible and follow the rules, guys. I mean, one thing you don't want to do. I've had 1, 2, 3 people last week, right? Have spoken to me about getting signals. Don't do that to yourself, because always think about one thing, right? Eventually, when the signal provider goes, you lose money.
Yeah, you're dead.
So just stick with your knowledge and analyze yourself. Okay? Don't rely on
Okay.
nobody. Trust yourself more. You actually know this. You're built for this. That's one thing you have to know. You're built for this. I mean, if you're not built for this, you wouldn't be here in the first place. You're built for this. So follow your instinct, follow your gut, and trade with your own self, and try to eradicate your emotion as best as possible. That's why the guys that in the members area have the EA for the stop loss and take profit and trailing stop. It helps you to stop you out so you don't lose. You understand? Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. And just, make as much money as you can while keeping it simple. Don't stress yourself. I know that I only have to trade on Monday and Tuesday. After that, I don't need to trade Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You understand? Forget about it. You don't have to trade every single time. You don't have to trade every single week. If you have one trade a month, and that one trade a month is sufficient enough to get you 10 grand, trade that one trade and be satisfied with your 10 grand, and come back maybe the next month and make another 20 grand on top of that. That's how it works. Understand? Get a strategy, stick to it, and make money. Simple. Okay?
Yep. Thank you.
That's very beautiful, guys. Now, you're welcome. I mean, there's so much trades going on. There's the USD trade going on. So if you have access to the seasonal, go check the USD trade that's going to happen. I mean, there's an up move on the USD comment. So I don't know when that's going to happen. I think on the 4th or something, it's going to happen. I haven't really analyzed the USD, so I was going to analyze it before I started this, but I'll probably analyze it later. So the USD is one you should go for as well. It's going to be a long up move. So hopefully there's no stuff going on politically, geopolitically, that can affect the market. So you should have a massive up move in the USD. So it's something you should also look at and capitalize on if you have the, if you have the seasonal. And guess what? I want to capitalize on this fall. This is going to be a very beautiful one. So on that note, guys, that's it for today. And I really thank you guys for coming. And I've been saying giveaway, membership giveaway. I would organize that this week. I have to, because I've been saying that for a while now. So I'll get that organized, and then I'll tell you what we need to do. Okay? And if you guys haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go on and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to post this webinar day on Wednesday. It's going to be there, and an email will be sent to you. So, all right, guys. And if you have friends that want to join, come on, invite them over. Invite them over, man. It's free anyway. So,
well, most of them are really scared, so.
It's just
they're like, no, you trade. We're gonna just invest with you.
Everybody say that until you hit the jackpot. When you start hitting that 100K margin, then you don't have time for them, and then they'll be like, you'll be like a bad person in front of them. But oh well. That's understand. So guys, man, have a lovely weekend. I mean, the weekend is already over, so have a lovely week that's coming, and make some much money. All
right, bro. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Dan. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.